Special thanks to our presenting sponsor, IMDb, who also sponsors this panel.
All right. Hello, hello. How are we all doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Amazing. Well, I am Trey Wesley, a producer at IMDb. Welcome to the Outfronts presented by Outfest. IMDb is a presenting sponsor for this year, and we want to send a special thank you to Prime Video for making this possible. Let's give a few claps for Prime Video for giving us With Love. Let's just talk about With Love just right at the top. That show is so good. It's such a feel-good, loving, sweet show, and we need more of that on television. One thing I really love about the show in the first season is that it's spread over 5 holidays. I've never seen something like that. And I love how it depicts family in that way. And what's interesting in this season, no spoilers that much, is that this season is spread over key life events. You know, I'm curious from your character's perspective, in season 2, how does spanning over key life events allow your characters to explore themselves more and grow as individuals? And Isis, we can start with you.
Yeah, so that's a really good question. For my character, it's the first time I'm seeing a trans character have love, family support, friendship support, and a career. Soul is a doctor, a non-binary oncologist. And I think it's just that in itself is so powerful because in a world where trans rights are being stripped away from us, to see a trans character have all 4 of those things is something I personally have never seen. So in season 2, you'll see Soul even more so come into their self. You see the fashion upgrade, you see the confidence upgrade, and you see Soul learn to really stand up for themselves. So that's what I would say the difference is between season 1 and season 2.
Right on. Thank you for that, Vincent. What about you?
Yeah, I think for my character, Henry Cruz, we're picking things up right where we left off in season 1 with that cliffhanger. Who is going to propose to whom? So yeah, season 2 does have this big wedding revelation, which we will not discuss. No spoilers. But for Henry, yeah, he and Jorge Diaz Jr. are still together, and they're stronger than ever, but they're still hitting some bumps in the road, which is par for the course for any friendship, any relationship, whether it's familial or romantic, which we actually focus on in season 2 and the other relationships throughout the show. But for Henry and Jorge, we're stepping out of our comfort zones now, and we're realizing how, let's just say the theme of boundaries has come up a few times. It's not just for Jorge's character and his family, but also for Jorge and Henry. And so, Henry introduces his parents to Jorge and vice versa. And, there's some differences there. Things end well, but, whenever you meet each other's family, there's always going to be a little bit of discourse. It's just at the end of the day, Jorge and Henry love each other. And throughout season 2, you're going to see us like going deeper into who our characters are, finding out a little bit more of our backstory. And you're going to see us like going through these life events, but also dealing with all the emotion and the challenge that comes with those life events. And so it's a whirlwind, but all in all, it's still a rom-com. So it's still going to be a lot of fun and still going to be very sexy.
Right on. I like that you added very sexy at the end, because it is. Everyone's hot. Everyone's amazing in this show. But I want to go back a little bit to family, because I think that is a strong pillar and a foundation of this show. And I even want to take it a step further back to the creator, the writer of the show, executive producer, Gloria Calderon-Collette, who also plays a character in the show who's so funny.
The funniest character.
The funniest character.
We all love Tia Gladys.
Right, come on, we all need that, Tia, in our lives. How has it been working with Gloria as she's been shepherding you both into this show? What's it like working with a director or with a creator, a showrunner like her?
Yeah, well, first of all, Gloria really set the tone for the vibe on set. We really have become like a family. Everyone cares about each other and what's going on. To have a creator who is there from the first person to shoot on set to the end of the day, whether she has a scene or not, she's just always there and accessible to us. We're really grateful, obviously, to have the opportunity to work with a creator who is also just so down to earth and so sweet, but also get stuff done. That's her. It's really inspiring for sure. And also we have so much fun with her there.
I love that. Has she given you any big piece of advice that has stuck with you both? Or, I'm curious what that direction is like sometimes in a beautiful show like this.
I noticed that Gloria was really really receptive to us as a cast when we first started, which by the way was on Zoom. Remember that, Isis?
Oh,
We
yeah.
were, yeah, we were doing table reads just to like hear it, just to
Wow.
like feel it out,
It was still the pandemic.
It was still the pandemic, so we were there like finding the love. And actually that's actually Gloria tells the story way better than I do, but that's where the show came from. It was born out of the pandemic. She wanted to see her Latino family and her diverse array of friends and family members depicted in a more uh, joyful and lighter, kind of sensibility, as opposed to what we were seeing during the pandemic, which is a lot of trauma. And so our show really is about love, and it's over the course of all these different holidays and right now life events, but also with different kinds of relationships. We have a multi-generational ensemble cast, that's very diverse, and the Black people, brown people, white people, like Filipino representation, Chinese, Latino, Latinx, the LGBTQ community. We have a lot of queer experiences and conversations on our show that I think are, dare I say, it's so unique that some of them I don't think we've actually seen on television yet. So our show was also groundbreaking in that way. But that came from Gloria being the kind of leader she was. Like Isis said, we have so much fun on set. It's too funny. There's so much laughing. There's so much joy, and I think it's like palpable for the audience when they watch the show, season 1 and 2.
Yeah. I want to dive deep into a quick relationship. Isis is with your character, Soul, and their grandmother, the abuelita. When I saw that relationship, to be honest, I got a little emotional. I'm close to my grandma. My grandma raised me. And I'm like, you do not see characters like this get love from someone who's maybe the matriarch in such a big family, especially a Latin family at that. How was it depicting this? And what do you think a relationship like that tells the audience out there?
Yeah, so that's a really good question as well, because I personally have never seen it as well. My grandmother, since I was little, she always called me her little star. She still calls me her little star, and I'm the oldest grandkid. We have a close relationship. We talk all the time. She's on the other side of the country, but we talk as much as we can. And I was so grateful for that because, trans people rarely even see ourselves on TV being respected by our families. I've seen it maybe once, but to have a grandparent who was really religious as well on the show, just say that, her grandkid, she loves them no matter what. And she can see beyond all the conflict that the world wants us to believe that there is with loving someone who is trans or non-binary. I think that that's really important. And also I have a strong relationship with both my grandparents. And I just love that because that's the world. And sometimes people need to see that it literally can be that simple.
Yeah. I love how you ended that. It literally can be that simple,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this overcomplicated, traumatic thing of us getting to,
Literally.
Vincent, for you, I love how your character sometimes is a big gesture guy. They show big gestures of love. They're very clear about that to their partner. Is that kind of how you are in real life? Do you show gestures of love like in big ways in real life? It's okay if you don't, but I'm just curious.
I think he does.
Yes and no. Yes and no. There's definitely some Vinny in the character of Henry for sure. But I mean, in season 1, we established that Henry is not a big gesture guy. That behavior comes from his love of Jorge and the fact that Jorge is the one that really needs that. And I think in season 2, the gestures that you're talking about, that you see from Henry, come from that experience that Henry had in season 1. So in season 2, Henry has learned, like, okay, I know who my partner is. I know what he needs. I know what kind of loving ways he needs me to demonstrate that love. So So hence, I don't want to give it away, but yeah, I mean, Henry steps out of his comfort zone to make sure Jorge is loved the way he needs it. And that's where like we have all the discussions of boundaries come up, and also like the navigation of stepping out of your comfort zone and introducing your past to your present, you know, because you meet Henry's friends and his parents in season 2. And so yeah, there's a lot, all those gestures are still in the realm of Henry, but really they come from Henry's love of his partner. And I think that's the story there, is like what you're willing to sacrifice and do for your loved ones.
I love that. As you were saying that, a phrase of like rising to the occasion came to my mind, because I think that's what all the partners, all these characters, they do for their partners and spouses. They rise to the occasion in the sake of love. You know, I'm curious from both of your perspectives, do you have a favorite line or a favorite scene that you've had with the person you're dating in the show that you just loved acting out, that you still think about from time to time? I'm just curious because there were so many sweet moments, you know?
That's hard because I feel like me and Todd, I feel like our couple have all these really, really sweet moments. So it's hard to pinpoint one because literally, I will say this season, there's a lot more of a up and down emotional roller coaster with Team Smiles. That's what we call us. There's an up and down a little bit more. So you'll see a lot more apologies and revelations on both of our parts. So I would say that maybe each of those, like the moments where we kind of come together and like look at each other in the eyes and apologize and the relationship grow a little bit. But also, I will also say, because we're both so relaxed and we get along so good, I feel like we both had fun with the arguments because, you know, we really got to go in this season and it was actually kind of fun because off when we're not filming, we're just sitting there, we're going to Crafties, eating snacks, talking. So like getting to have those arguments was actually, I think, really fun for both of us. So yeah, I don't have one particular moment, but there are so many sweet moments this season.
I love that. What about you, Vincent?
Oh man, well, season 1, what stands out to me is I am not a mild salsa. We really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. I'd say in season 2, I can't quite put even if I could put my finger on it, like pick one quote or one instance, it would be so unfortunate because there are so many quotes and there are so many just like moments where it glimmers a little brighter than the rest that just make you smile or make you chuckle, or I'll even say it, like make you feel seen. Like season 2, we go so much further and deeper. And like I just was saying, like you're going to hear conversations and you're going to see our characters go to places that we haven't been yet. And it's just a testament to like the fact that Gloria, you know, our leader, you know, and her associate producer and writer, Andy Roth, they led an amazing writer's room, and we have a lot of representation in our writer's room. And that's how we as the actors are getting the power to, you know, infuse this kind of life into these characters. So it's like, it's just on the page. So it's like so much fun and such a pleasure to do. And so it just makes it really hard to pick one moment. And because I'm living through a few of them, like Isis, like Vegas.
Oh,
like
yeah, Vegas was a crazy.
Like
Vinny
we're not trying to.
like I think Vinny in Vegas. You'll see that episode. I felt like he had so much fun. I feel like that episode was all about his character kind of being wild and doing all these crazy things, and it was just so fun to watch. And some of the things I didn't get to see because he filmed solo, so I can't wait to see those moments because they were so ridiculous and funny that I know they're going to just be like off the wall.
Yeah, we have some standout moments like that for sure. Though I do have to say, I've been hearing about it too because we've been doing a lot of press for season 2. But there's some. I wasn't there for the scene, Isis, but like you have a scene with your character. Soul has a scene with Mark's character,
yeah.
Jorge Diaz Jr., that I hear is so powerful and so beautiful, and I can't wait to see that scene. But I also know Soul has a scene with Dr. Miles where they have a conversation about navigating their queer relationship. And when I like I knew that was happening in the script, but to actually see it, like we were going through our talking points and just highlighting that made me feel like, it's about time, like now's the time for a show like this, because it really does. And like, I know Pride's around the corner, but it really does shine light on queer representation and how authentic it can be done. And so our show does break ground in that way, in terms of how we represent our queer characters, our older characters, younger characters, the Latino experience, the Afro-Latino experience, the Filipino experience. We're really, it's a melting pot, and it's really joyful and delicious. Like you guys should have a taste of Good Love season 2. It's quite yummy.
Boom, drops mic right there. Okay. You both bring up such a strong point. I think a superpower of this show is it's showing how easy it can be to just communicate, but you have to, again, rise to the occasion. And I think when you're depicting sometimes cultures, I can talk from the Black experience, sometimes we don't talk about things in our families. We let it fester, we let it sit. Because whatever, you know what I'm talking about. And so I love that in this show, you bring up Soul talking to Dr. Miles just about communicating what their queer relationship looks like, so they have an understanding of it. And I think when people see that, what they saw in season 1, but when they see that in season 2, I think it's just going to help. And I don't want to use, I know we use the term normalizing, and that can seem like we're
but normalize.
Like, we're normalizing it.
Normalize being human and being diverse and being different. That's the world. That's the country. Let's normalize things that are normal to so many of us, but to so many people who are either closed off or don't have access to the diversity that they deserve to have. You'll see all these different depictions of people that are in your everyday life. So maybe when you meet someone in person, you will think of this representation of with love, or a character like that as positive. So that when you meet someone who, say, might be non-binary or trans or bisexual, if you are in that little teeny bubble of a world where you don't have that around you, you'll say, oh, like Henry, oh, like Soul, and you remember this positive depiction, and your meeting with someone won't be so weird, like we're in an experiment like an ET where you have to wear the mask and a suit and we're coming in the bubble. It's like, guys, like we're all different. That's reality, and if you don't see that, then maybe you should step out of your comfort zone and experience something different, because that is literally what the country and what the world is. We all have different points of views and different backgrounds, and it's important to see different people. That's how you grow, and that's how you develop. That's how you evolve.
Yeah. In this show, I love how in the season 2, like I said at the top of this conversation, how we're talking about different life events, but I'm curious, I love talking to actors about this. If you could write in a life event, maybe it's happened in your life, or maybe you want to see this depicted in your character's life, what would you put in? What's a life event you would include in this show if you could?
That's a really good question, Trey. I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah, we're going there. Yeah.
Wow.
You know
what? I mean, I'll go out on a limb. I'm throwing this out there for season 3. I'm just putting it out there.
Manifesting.
For season 3. Pride.
That's my answer. That's what I said the other day, and I did not think you were going to say that. Wow.
Well, I don't know. We were just here like Outfest, and we're talking.
Yeah, no, Pride for sure. The family can make food and give away. Miles and Soul maybe can do free testing. The truck, you guys can run the truck. Maybe Jorge Jr. can talk about it being too hot out there for him and he's sweating, you don't want to sweat. The parents are there, the grandparents are there, like trying to keep their balance on the truck. I don't know.
Nick is getting hit on by like everybody.
Yes, definitely.
Martha, Grandma Martha is like asking all of them questions about like non-binary and
Are you
trans.
a
She's surrounded.
bisexual? Are you a
Are you
bisexual?
bisexual?
Are you a bisexual? I feel like Jorge Senior can get hit on, and he's kind of like, oh, thanks. You know, he's so like innocent and sweet. He's like, oh, I did work out this week. Thanks.
This week?
You know,
Hmm.
I think that would be a really funny episode.
Wait, how do we make this happen? Because that's almost too perfect. Like I could see that happening.
I actually pitched Pride, I think at the wedding, when we filmed the wedding episode, I think I might have thought of it and I pitched it to Gloria, and then on a few things. I feel like it's so obvious. Look, it's so easy to create. And I feel like we'll have so much fun. But we have to have a flow. I mean, they did really good with creating like the rooms and the things. So I know they can make a banging float. I feel like it should be a float with like a Casa truck. And then we're like on the top or something, and we're like throwing out like empanadas or something. I don't know. Cardi was doing the whip shot, so I feel like we could throw empanadas over the top at Pride.
This is now a brainstorming session for season 3 of With Love.
This is the writer's room right here.
This is the writer's room. Gloria, we love you. We're just putting together some ideas. We'll have a pitch for you by the end of the week.
Literally, by the end of this conversation.
Literally.
Okay? You know, you brought up the bisexual of it all. You know, your character Vinny in the first season.
Yeah.
I loved him when he was faced with that family, and I was like, how is he gonna come out of this? Like, you have all these people looking at him. Like, I was nervous looking at you. Like, again, rise to the occasion and come out of this. But I'm curious, you know, when did you truly connect to your character? And Isis, I'll toss this to you afterwards. But when did you connect to your character, and what have you learned from depicting a character like this?
Well, what I've learned from depicting my character Henry Cruz is I was faced with a lot of my own experience growing up as a Filipino gay man. I lived in Daly City, which is a suburb of San Francisco. And so not to say that Henry is all like me, Vinny, but I just wanted to pull from some of my experiences just to think about the Filipino experience, the LGBTQ experience I had, and also what creates a person like Henry. Because like when I got the audition, Henry was described, Gloria wrote in bisexual Filipino dreamboat, and I went, wait, what? When like, oh, thank you. Well, but here's the thing. Gloria loves rom-coms. I love romantic comedies, and she loves Love Actually. I love Love Actually. Emerald, I think, who plays Lily, she was just like, yeah, our show's like Love Actually and My Big Fat Greek Wedding in one, but like Latino and like diverse and and stuff. But like I really found myself learning more about, I'd say, revisiting the ideas that Filipinos are raised Catholic, and they kind of are raised to pursue and achieve their goals. And so when I saw this character Henry Cruz, who seemed like a prince and almost seemed perfect, I wanted to explore what's behind that. And so what's kind of neat is that in season 2, we're gonna find out who Henry was before we saw him in season 1. You're going to meet his friends. You're going to find out why he doesn't drink tequila. Spoiler alert. And yes, some truth is going to come out. It's going to be a lot. Isis said it, but I really got to revisit some of those themes, and those challenges, and it just reminded me of how grateful I am to have persevered through those awkward moments myself, dealing with my sexuality growing up. And I thought, how beautiful is it that in season 1 we were given, Isis and I were given such beautiful scenes of that did normalize our experiences, that didn't have to have trauma in them. We've seen a lot of that depiction on television, and With Love really does focus on the joy and the community and the not just the romantic love, the platonic love, the love that we all have for one another, whether you're a member of the Diaz family or you're just a member of the clan, like the whole With Love cast. Like, in a way, I feel when I'm playing Henry, I feel the chosen family energy, which is not so different from, our LGBTQ brothers and sisters and theys and thems. Like we feel connected. We there's a common compassion, understanding, acceptance that's there that I think is really infused into our show, because it truly is about love and connection and acceptance, and celebrating our differences and stepping out of our comfort zone so that we can reach that new level of intimacy and authenticity as our characters, but also from an entertainment point of view, so that we can see ourselves in the world we live in depicted on screen in a way that inspires us and makes us feel seen and loved.
Yeah, what a beautiful answer, and just really quickly, and then we're going to switch gears with our remaining time for some rapid fire questions about love for the last few minutes. But one more thing that I wanted to mention about Soul is I love the scene where Soul was connecting with Dr. Miles' daughter at the end of season 2.
Child.
Correct. Child. Yeah. And thank you for that. And I thought that was just incredible and beautiful. When you were filming that scene, kind of what did that teach you, and what did you love most about creating something like that for audiences to take in?
Yeah, so in season 1, that's really interesting because, the younger generation, for the most part, I know things are happening now that's kind of stifling some of the transitions, but for the most part, each generation get it a little bit more easy, and sometimes we have a habit of thinking like, we got to figure it out. We don't need help from the ones that came before us. So I think that was interesting in season 1 to kind of just jump in, and then my friends kind of say, did you ask them what they want or what they need? What kind of support they need? So for season 2, you kind of see our relationship grow. They say they love me. And also I meet their mom, who is Miles' ex-wife, who is played by Busy Phillips, who's actually the child's real mother. And it's their first time acting together on set. So it was funny watching them together. And also Busy is just a hoot on her own. She's just so funny. So that was really interesting. I have dated guys with children, never any with queer children who are also under the trans umbrella. But that was interesting. And I always felt like, soul is so similar to me. And that's something that as a trans person, I've never gotten to play. I've never heard a description of a character be the heart of the family, kind, gentle, sweet. When you think of trans characters, that's not ever really a description that's given for us. So to play somebody that I feel like is so similar to me in this case is so rewarding, because I never would have thought that would be possible unless it was something I created on my own. Yeah. So yeah, it was an amazing journey so far, and hopefully it continues.
Absolutely. Again, manifesting. This is the writer's room right now. We're manifesting all of
that.
So
we love our writers.
We love our writers.
We
okay.
love writers.
Thank you. Nothing happens without the writers. Let that
That's
be.
Right.
With our last couple of minutes, I just want to have some fun and ask a few rapid fire questions about love. Okay. Feel free to pass if you feel like it's too deep or anything, but I just, thought this could be cool. All right. First question. Do you believe in true love or love at first sight?
Yes.
Yes.
Love that. Let's see if you can do this. What's your love language? Give me like the top 2 love languages.
Quality time and words of affirmation.
Same but reversed. Words of affirmation, quality time.
Oh, so we have the same love languages.
We do.
Aww.
Okay, wait. Let's go a step further. Is that how you give it or receive the love?
For me, both. For me, both, definitely.
For me, that's how I prefer to receive. But I also speak other love languages for those who speak other love languages as well. I'm well versed in all the love languages.
If somebody come to me and say, "Oh, well, my love language is physical touch," I'm gonna say, "Well, sweetie, I'm not the one for you. I'm demisexual, and I need, to get to that point, it just has to be a certain type of connection." And I feel like in LA, we don't really get that, but that's a whole different topic. Next one.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, wait, even harder. Name a song with the word love in the title or in the lyrics.
Love on top.
Say you said name a song.
Yep, with the word love in the title or in the lyrics. I love that.
La, 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 la. I was gonna leave that high one for you. I'm like, I'm not warmed up.
I can't sing, but okay.
It was iconic, and thank you. That's gonna make it, for sure.
We sing. We sing.
Okay, wait. This is a fun question. Describe a fun date that only costs $20.
Beach day. Make sandwiches, bring a few frozen drinks, like put it in the freezer or something. Go sit out on the beach, bring some SPF and lay out and listen to the waves. I think that's the most romantic date, and that costs less than $20. It's just the gas.
Okay. The gas, which is way more than $20. Exactly.
What's funny is like I have a similar answer because I used to do this with myself. I used to when I was in Toronto, I'd give myself these little dates where like I'd go to a beach. Sometimes it was the nude beach, so and get all the vitamin B. I didn't really see anyone. I was away from, I just wanted privacy. No, but I would bring this when I drank alcohol. I'd bring my Bullet or my Ninja like smoothie, but it had this is so funny. It was a fruit smoothie, but there was Bacardi in it, and maybe a flavored vodka, and maybe a splash of Bacardi 151. I used to be a bartender. And the times that I've done that and duplicated it, like in New York on the pier, I'd bring a friend and like we do yoga, but then like drink these boozy smoothies. That's why they call them boozy smoothies. What? Naked? No, not naked. Not naked. I'm just saying like it kind of started in Toronto when someone said, oh, you should try the nude beach. And then I was like, well, there's no nude beaches in New York. So it's like, I'll go to the pier, do some yoga and have a boozy smoothie. And I think that can be a cute little fun date. Yeah. Making yourself a little picnic basket, get some hummus, some crackers, lay down a blanket. Yeah. Nature.
Love all this. And I'm taking mental notes for my own personal life, just like you all
Safe.
Thank you. Thank you. Last one, and then we'll wrap it up. Just about the show, and I know we've talked about this, but if you can pick the thing you love most about being in With Love, what would that be?
I would say two things. I would say the cast, but I would also say the lovely storyline the Soul has. That I think they said for season 1, it was the first time it was a trans lead and a holiday themed love story, and just more of that, just more of turning on the TV and seeing a trans person be loved, because in a world where they tell us we're not worthy of it, it's important to highlight the possibilities, but also reflection of the love that so many trans people already have.
I have to, my answer is the same, actually. I can't pick one. I'd say the cast. Our cast is an amazing, incredible group of people. And I had so much fun and felt so cared for, loved, supported, encouraged during filming season 1, season 2. We really had a blast. And the thing that I really think audiences will take away from our show that I think is so important and amazing is the fact that like our show really does focus on love, and how it's for everyone. Like every single relationship on our show, whether it's romantic, whether it's a love triangle, or if it's familial love, like it really sends the message that we all deserve love, and we all deserve to be our authentic selves and be loved for who we are, and to share that love with our family and our chosen family. And we all joy and acceptance, baby, with love.
With love. What a way to end it. I love snaps for all of us. Thank you so much for this incredible conversation. I'm such a fan of the show. I'm a fan of both of you. And thank you for spending your time with me today. Again, this has been a panel, the Outfronts, presented by Outfest, where IMDb is one of the premier sponsors. Special thank you to Prime Video for allowing us to have this conversation. With Love Season 1 is streaming on Prime Video, and Season 2 premieres Friday, June 2nd. You got to watch. Do not miss it. All right. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.